Hello, I'm Steven. I'm going to demonstrate how to adapt the Laerdal SPO2 212 7050 with an extension cable to kind of increase its durability in your patient monitor setups. You'll need the SPO2 as well as an extension cable. You can get an extension cable that has a 90-degree USB-A connector or whatever the case may be. I suggest getting the 18-inch, 1.5 feet length, 2 zip ties, 1-inch heat shrink tubing, knife, cut the heat shrink tubing, and a butane lighter or a torch or a heat gun to help with the heat shrink. In this process, it'll extend the SPO2 by 1.5 feet, but also give you the ability to extend its life by releasing strain off of the connector. The connector itself and the adapter is this adapter that connects via USB-A here, and then has this DIN connector. While it is stiff, there's also a little bit of strain relief, but then this also kind of dangles. So when you plug it into the computer, this tends to torque everything down. When you extend it, this is now what's being torqued down, and this is a lot easier to replace than this module. So that's what it looks like once you put the heat shrink tubing in there. The end result is this setup here with the zip ties, and I will go through that process on how to do that. You want to make sure, cut yourself the heat shrink tubing, have your zip ties prepared. And what I like to do with this device is unplug the SPO2 cable. If it's seated properly, it'll be a little difficult to pull out. I will snake this through the heat shrink. A lot of times that's what people feel that it's in, but it actually goes in another 1/8 inch in. There it goes. So now this is relatively one solid piece. Now you can take the heat shrink tubing, slide it back over the whole device. And I kind of try to center it right in the middle. It's starting to stick out here, so I kind of push it in there. So it's pretty much centered. I will heat shrink it now, and then I'll put zip ties on the ends here. And if it needs to be trimmed, I'll trim whatever needs to be trimmed with a pair of scissors, a knife, or a scalpel. I like to go from bottom up and around. You don't want to overheat the whole device because plastic melts at a certain temperature. So you want to make sure you do quick work of it. Do nice even heating on both sides. Once you come to the ends, you just want to make sure you don't start burning the jacket of the wire or the cable. it over. Now it is very hot and pliable at this moment. So you can let it cool, or this is when you take the opportunity to put your zip ties on. Do that off screen here. So that'll take and cinch down. You just clip those zip ties off, and that's pretty much it. If you need to trim off a little bit of the heat shrink here and there, just do that very carefully so you don't cut into the jacket of the cables. Make sure you use good clippers to get as close as possible to the zip tie ends so you don't get a jagged edge, edge sharp. So some type of good quality side cutter or micro snips. Okay. I like to, as one last step, to add a label. I put these labels on for tracking purposes. Sometimes I have to interchange them to see which one's good, which one's failing. Between rooms, sometimes you run into, I need a quick fix for a known working. I'll put it on this connector here, but you can really put it on the connector. You can put it on the cable itself, or you could put it on the module. There's a flat spot on the module. I would refrain from putting it on the wire or the probe itself. You can if you want, but I would refrain because how highly used this gets touched and handled. The stickers can come off. So that concludes today's session, I guess. Enjoy.